Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is my match reaction from Aston Villa 0, Newcastle United 0. If you are new to our channel, make sure you are subscribing. We're on the road to 27k. So comment your thoughts, smash the like button, helps me out massively. So get on board. So we've had the fan cams. If you've not seen them, go back, watch them. Raw emotion straight after the game. You can't beat it. Say how you feel outside Villa Park, and it's great. And then we go on to another journey. You've got home, you've settled, you've gathered your thoughts. What are you thinking? Tomorrow, we will have an in-depth tactical debrief where I will pick apart the whole performance, passing networks, tactical images, you name it, heat maps, you name everything that you need to see in depth. You will find it tomorrow. But today is about emotion. It's about how are you feeling? What do you feel like having watched Aston Villa? And that's the beauty in the journey that hopefully I'll take you on Up the Villa. We start the week optimistic, match preview. We go in-depth tactical on the opposition. Then we go opposition. We hear from Unai. We have reaction, raw, hearty stuff. And then the proper, let's see what actually really happened when we delve into the stats and the data. So that's what hopefully I can offer, and hopefully you like it. I'll try my best. Anyway, so on today's show now, we are going to do player ratings, and we're also going to talk about how we are feeling off the back of that performance. And I pretty much still feel exactly the same as what I did when I was watching and when I walked out of Villa Park. Just a little bit flat, just a little bit. We didn't play well, and the overriding thoughts are we are way, way, way better than what we've seen from Aston Villa against Newcastle. And that team, that squad is still very, very good. So it's not a case of, well, we won't be as good as this year or that year. That's excuses. You know, we've seen what this squad and team can do. So the level and performance we saw against Newcastle was way off it. I actually thought Newcastle were pretty bad, but they were still better than what we were. So me and Earl had a conversation last night, and we basically said to each other, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Onana, Tielemans and Kamara. And we had like this conversation for about 5 minutes about this and what we'd need and what would need to happen. So I've got no problems today with those three starting, but it's what happens in and around it, which is a massive, massive problem. And probably one of the reasons why we weren't as fluid, we weren't as good, we weren't as at it. And I'll show you tomorrow how way off it we were. And we were very lucky early on, and Bezo made a brilliant save. And I've got to say, guys, he's class. For a number 2, he's brilliant. Kicking with his feet. Okay, he's a bit off at times. But he's, you know, what you've got to look at with a goalkeeper is it's not like a winger coming on or a fullback coming on or a midfielder where you've got 10 other players in and around you and you can play and freedom and everything. When you're a goalkeeper, everything is on you. Everything. The scrutiny that comes with it, watching every save, every kick. And from what we've had in the past, I thought he was tremendous. Shot stopping, good. Pushing stuff out the way, brilliant. Majority of his kicking was good. The odd one that weren't so great. And I actually thought Newcastle's midfield 3 was probably their best part about them. Gomes, Tonali, and Joe Linton. But where I am a little bit concerned slightly, and I wouldn't say I'm worried, I'd say I'm a little bit concerned, is just our inability to just back ourselves a bit. Just throw our weight around a bit and just be a bit bolshy. I feel like that's what we lack a little bit. And I think I'm just a bit confused about Marlon. And I'm a bit confused about Maatsen. I'm just a bit confused by it. You know, I didn't expect Buendia to play. No chance. Didn't expect it whatsoever. But I actually thought Marlon could have been in with a shout to play because he's going to add a bit of pace. He's going to add a bit of power. He's going to stretch a bit. He's going to be that attacking outlet. And then when you're looking at, say, like a midfield of what we've got, Kamara, Onana, combative, brilliant. You know, those two I thought were fine. Absolutely. There was nothing wrong with those two. And then you're using Tielemans further forward, who's not in the game as such. Where are we getting the ball to Tielemans? And then you've got John McGinn out on the right. You know, there's an unbalance there. He can play there. He can do a job there, but there's an unbalance to the team there. And then you look on the left, going forward, bombing on. So if Rodgers is coming in a bit, where's your width? There's a lack of pace out there. So for me, at home, go and attack this game. Go and attack the first game of the season. But we just played into a passive game. And when you're looking at it and you're looking that you've got 4 out-and-out central midfielders on, right? So we got 4. Kamara, Onana, Yuri, and McGinn. 4. Where's pace? Where's the assists? Where's the unlocker? Where's the forward thinker involved in that? So there's a real unbalance to it. And I do think it was a bit of a containing job for Memory. I think he looked at it and thought, first game of the season, let's just try and keep it tight and contain it and just try and be sensible, stay in the game. Maybe subs can change the game. But sometimes I don't like thinking like that because a lot can happen before you even get to that position. So if he was thinking about, okay, let's bring on Marlon, let's bring on Guesson, let's bring on Buendia to unlock a bit, Jimo Aloba, last 5, whatever. We haven't even got to that point because we had someone sent off. So that's just where my little concern is, the fact that we're doing that on game week number 1. So, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not here to sugarcoat and try and sugarcoat it because that's just not right and that's just me. And that's where my frustration lied today. Far too safe, far too passive, not enough about us. We go in at half-time, we get a lift. So Emery gets a lift from them. So, plenty to work on, a lot to do. And I think we've got to get the team right. We've got to pick the right team. We've got to pose more of a threat. So I think that's all I'm going to say on it. Really, like that's my concern. I want to see us being a bit more brighter and forward thinking and a bit more. You worry about us. You know, take the game to them. It's at Villa Park. So that's just where I'm at basically. So we're gonna do player ratings, and I'll run through some of the main numbers regarding the players. So we're gonna start off with Bezo, and we are gonna put Bezo number 1. Bezo is straight in top spot, number 10, man of the match, saved it from Malanga. Really good. Shot stopping, like I mentioned. What stats have we got going on here then? So like I say, kicking wise, 51%. He made 1 save in the box, 1 punch. Runs out successful, 1 out of 1. High claims, 3. Prevented a 0.69 XG. Clearances, 1. So a solid game from Bezo. Next up, we've got Matty Cash, who made 3 clearances, 5 block shots, 1 interception, 2 tackles, 41 touches, 77% accurate passing. None of his 3 crosses were accurate, don't we know it? We've got 4 out of 5 duels were won, which was good, and 0 out of 2 of his aerials were won. So, Cash, I actually don't think defensively he was that bad at all. I thought up against Barnes, he handled Barnes pretty well. So I'm not going to go in on Cash and go, his defending was rubbish, because it wasn't. He defended Harvey Barnes pretty well. Passing accuracy is quite low, so that needs to massively improve. But where I've got an issue is the cross. That is an issue, because he's crossed it, and some might say it's just a bad cross or whatever, but he still picked someone out, and it's just left us in a real bad position. So, Cash, I'm going to go 6. I thought he was just okay, and maybe that's where part of the problem is. We're not here for okay, are we? None of those crosses have been successful. Now, like I'm mentioning, if McGinn's on the right coming inside and your width is coming from Matty Cash and none of his crosses are accurate, there we go. There we go. Problem number 1, no output. No output whatsoever. So, not the greatest, really. So he's going to get a 6. Up next, we are going to go with Konsa, who I'm probably going to go 5. I thought he was okay during the game, and I've watched it back, and I don't actually feel like he needs to pull him. He's there with him. He's, and I know he's got, like Unai said after the game, he's got a decision to make, hasn't he? He's striving to win the ball back, and he puts his arm on him, pulls him back. Can we not just, because they were neck and neck at the start of that move, can we not just try and match him for speed and push him out wide a little bit and try and make it a bit more difficult? But we put hands on, we pull back, and it's a straight red, and it could have really cost us a point. And again, I actually don't think a point is that bad against Newcastle. That they're going to be who we're competing with. It's not actually a bad point. My bad point with Villa is the performance and how we played. We've got Digne. I'm edging. I'm edging for a 5 here, guys. I'm not going to lie, but I'll have a look at his stats and we'll have a look, see whether it can bump up a bit. 50 touches, 67% success, 1 out of 2 crosses successful, long balls 1 out of 6, ground duels 2 out of 5, aerials 1 out of 4, lost the ball 17 times. And again, if we're talking about creativity on the left-hand side, it's coming from Digne. And the creativity wasn't there. So I am going to stick with a 5 for Digne, because the output and the outlet just wasn't there. So Digne gets a 5. Mings is going to get a solid 6, I think. It's just okay. Guys, we've kept a clean sheet here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've kept a clean sheet, but I'm expecting better from us. I really am. I want more from us. So I'm not just gonna try and sugarcoat a clean sheet. I thought he was all right. Mings solid as a 6 can get. Next up, we've got Boubacar Kamara, who I actually felt an 8 is right for him. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he's passing 84%. We've got 2 out of 3 successful duels, 6 out of 4 of his ground duels were won, 4 out of 5 of his aerials were won. He's got 2 clearances, 1 interception, 1 tackle. And the big thing about Newcastle is match them, win your duels, and he won majority of his. So he was very solid. Another player who, again, I thought had a really really good game up against a very tough midfield would be Onana. I thought Onana played well. I thought he was showing, and I'm going to give him the same as Kamara. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was combative, he was strong, he was winning his tackles, he was driving us forward, he was intercepting balls at times, and I thought he was good. A couple of times a little bit loose, but really good on set pieces, really good at crosses. So these are looking like two of our best players for me. 59 touches, 81% successful passes, 6 out of 8 ground duels, 1 out of 1 aerials. We've got 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, like I'm talking about, 2 tackles. We've got 1 block shot. So Onana, pretty good. Onana and Kamara, really not got a bad thing to say about either of those. McGinn, I'm going to give a 6. I thought he troubled Livramento. I thought he troubled him with his physicality. But at times, there was just a little bit of a lack of quality there. Whether that's getting across into the box. I thought he was aggressive enough. He got 68% passing accuracy, 2 out of 4 crosses accurate. And here's the big one. 9 out of 5 ground duels. 9 out of 1 aerials. So maybe he wasn't as aggressive, but I actually felt like he played Livramento quite well. But looking at this, none of his duels were won. So maybe McGinn has to go to a 5. I think he might have to, guys. He might have to. Next up, we've got Tielemans then. I'm going to give him a 6 because I actually don't think he was the problem. I think players around him might have been the problem of getting him on the ball, getting him in the right areas. I've got a real cool image to show you tomorrow. But again, he's only had 30 touches, 74% passing accuracy, 2 out of 5 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerials, 2 clearances, 1 interception, 2 tackles. So pretty decent, but not his best, not even in his right position. And then we'll go to Morgan Rogers now, who I actually said a couple of weeks ago that I actually felt like Rogers has got a lot of development to come his way, to grow as a player. And someone on Twitter was like, no, what do you mean? Rogers is fine. Rogers doesn't need to develop. Come on. Every player needs to develop. Every player needs to get better. Every player needs to work on things. And Rogers today was the worst part of Rogers, and that's not utilising the ball correctly, when the pass is on, not finding the right player, dribbling and driving sometimes in the wrong areas, and also not doing the defensive work at times, leaving your fullback isolated, not getting back quick enough, because he's not playing off the striker. He's not having to stay up top. He needs to be like busting a gut to get back, and sometimes he weren't. So, not in the game, not a great performance. And hopefully a lot of these are having a bit of a talking to from Emery, because I'm going to give him a 5. Just really, really poor. Not good, really. Watkins, I will give a... What will I give Watkins? I'll give Watkins a solid like 7. I think the ref didn't help him. I thought he ran the channel well. I thought he could have found the corner when he took his shot. I thought he was okay, Watkins, but a lack of the ball, and that was a big problem. So I think that was my thoughts on Watkins. We then saw... Did we make any subs? Let me just check what sub-wise we did. Oh, Marlon. Oh, I mean, surprise, surprise. Marlon comes on and looks a threat going forward. So he's going to get a solid 7. He looked a threat, got his cross off. Power down the middle, played on the right-hand side. So I got nothing bad to say about Marlon. I thought he was absolutely fine when he came on, and I'd have liked to have seen Guesson, but obviously the red card didn't help. So I think that's everybody for the player ratings, yet there was only Marlon that came on. So hopefully you all agree. I mean, if we're putting some of these higher than what I've suggested, then might have to suggest I go to Specsavers straight away after this. You'll have to let me know. But yeah, just I think I've covered everything. Lots to improve on. I believe that we can improve, definitely. So that's not a problem. But yeah, plenty to work on. So Villa fans, let me know your thoughts on how you're feeling. And hopefully, you know, I've tried to be as honest as possible. So hopefully you've took some good stuff out of this episode. Maybe I mirror your thoughts, and maybe I don't. But we're all here for our footballing opinions. So those are the player ratings. We'll be back tomorrow with an in-depth tactical analysis debrief. So stay tuned for that. I'll try and bring you the best I possibly can. So cheers, everyone. Up the Villa.